Based on your experience, what are the three main reasons candidates fail or succeed during an interview?
Yeah. So these ones are very, very clear. And I think it's fascinating because I'll have candidates who come in across the scale, doesn't matter what age you are or what background it is, they'll fail for the same reasons. If you can't answer concisely, if you can't listen to the question, if you're rambling, it's all indicative of somebody who probably is going to be either difficult to manage or take up a lot of time within meetings because they like to talk, or at least that's how it's going to look to the hiring manager. So the very first, most golden rule, right, is always use the STAR technique if possible. So if you're going into the interview, you're looking at someone asks you a question that's based on competency. So for example, give me an example of a time when you would have had to use your communication skills in an effective manner on a project that you're passionate about. I say, well, the situation that I was in, I was working in suicide educational development in India within a team of 15. That's my situation. My task was I had to educate 20 children within schoolroom Monday to Friday. My action was while educating these children, I had to examine their literacy throughout the process. The result of this is that literacy levels went up by 20%. And then I stopped talking, right? So that's a really, really good example, because what happens is if I'm in an interview, if that was an interview situation, I've just given the hiring manager all of the context and information that she needs to fill out on her sheet. It's really simple and it's really concise. What can happen is, and it's happened a little bit in actual fact with some of the questions you've asked me, where I'll go on a little bit of a tangent first, right? And I'll start rambling a little bit about something that's connected to the main focus, right? And that's a very human thing. That's a very natural thing to happen. But in an interview, the more concise you can be, the more professional you can be, okay? And that kills candidates across the line if they start to ramble or they're not being concise in terms of the questions that's being asked. I would even recommend that there's no problem with actually taking about 15, 20 seconds to think about the question, think about how you're going to operate in it. That's really, really important. Give yourself time to prep within it. Give that 15, 20 seconds, because in actual fact, the hiring manager is going to say to themselves, most of the time, they're going to say, Jesus, this is somebody who's really thinking about the question, really engaging with it. They want to give me a good answer, as opposed to someone that jumps into it and is going to ramble. They're kind of half giving the information. I've seen candidates with fantastic CVs and fantastic experience, and they just fail the interview because the hiring managers turn around and going, this guy is talking or this gal is talking for ages. I'm never going to get my meetings finished, so there's no way I can give them the role, and they could be perfect candidates. So that's really, really important. The second thing that I'd say, and I think this is really important, if I was talking to my nephew or my son or anybody else who's going to an interview, I would be talking about the fact to be honest in terms of the interview. Be really, really open and honest, right? Because in recruitment, the way that I view it is that I'm an opportunity broker for everybody, right? There's an opportunity out there for somebody. Like if I get a vacancy, there's an opportunity for somebody to either increase their career, increase their income, change their quality of life, right? And I think it's very important for people to take an honest approach into interviews, and it's going to be really refreshing for the hiring manager. Because if you come in and you say, look, honestly, this is where I stand, this is why I'm trying to engage with this role, I'm not sure whether I'd be a good fit in A, B, and C, right? That'll be something that's really, really refreshing for a hiring manager in some cases. I have some candidates who come in and they're just talking about how fantastic they are throughout the process, right? Because they think that that's going to, I'm the perfect candidate. Every hiring manager knows that you're going to have weaknesses. And a good hiring manager will know that somebody who's self-aware will know about their weaknesses and know how to offset those weaknesses. So if I was actually mentoring somebody here in this scenario, I'd say the first thing is to be concise in your answers. The second thing is to be honest, right? And be honest about your weaknesses and be honest about how you overcome those weaknesses. That's a really strong candidate. If I have somebody before me that says, look, I'm not very good at X, but look, this is how I try to get over that. I'm not very good at being meticulous, but I've learned through previous experience how to offset that. That's a really powerful statement in an interview, like a really powerful statement, because you'll have another guy coming into the interview and he'll be saying, oh yeah, I'm fantastic at Excel and PowerPoint and Microsoft Word. I can do it all. I'm a star. But no human is perfect at everything, and to every strength there's a weakness. A good hiring manager is going to know that. And the third thing then is just engagement, and it's enthusiasm. And it really is as simple as that. That if you come into an interview and, I used to think it's nonsense, but it really does make a difference. You need to show up professionally, and you need to show up, be engaged, and be, you can even say to them, I really, really want this role. Because the point is that you want somebody who's enthusiastic for the role. And that's a really important part of de-risking the situation for the hiring manager, because they're always looking for red flags. They're always looking and going, well, where could this go wrong with this candidate? Because that's the worst case scenario. That's what they're trying to avoid. So those would be the three main areas: to show up and to be engaged, to be honest in how you're engaging, and to be concise in your answers. And past that, look, if I got a candidate like that, I'd be saying the only reason that they wouldn't be able to get across the line is if there was another candidate with more experience. But even at that, I've seen people with less experience who've come in, they've been honest, they've been engaged, they've been concise, and they've landed the role.
Perfect, Brian. Thank you. And you inspired me to a few things. And one of the things is that really listening skills to the question. If you don't understand the question, ask again, because sometimes that's why practice, I believe, so important, interview question with someone else or a professional. Because what happened is people start to answer the question, but they're afraid to ask what was it in the situation. And that is not a plus for the candidate. Ask, show that you want to understand. And this leads to another thing, what you said, be honest. And because it's not about, you need to be honest with the recruiter. It's not about just to get a job. It's to get the job that you want to stay and enjoy, because that's important. For them, it's better, and for you, it's better. There's different energy and you approach to work differently. So don't waste this time. Be honest with yourself and find the roles that actually you would enjoy. I have a question. Feel free to join our LinkedIn group. Hopefully I will see you soon. Thank you.